Welcome to the video lecture series of RGPV Bhopal and Directorate of Technical Education MP. I am Dr. Sarla Verma, lecturer in English in Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar Polytechnic College, Gwalior. Today's topic is auxiliary verbs part 2. We have already covered the auxiliary verbs be, the forms of be, do, does, ended, has, have and had, can, could, shall, will in part 1. In the part 2 of this module, we will be dealing with the modal auxiliary verbs should, would, must, need, may, might, dare, ought to and used to. Now the first auxiliary verb that we are taking is would. Would as modal auxiliary verbs is used to indicate polite request. Like we studied, could is also used for making polite requests. Similarly, in the same construction, would can be used as would you open the door? Would you give me a paper and pen? Would you listen to me, please? Would you post this letter, please? Would you come to my party, please? So these are examples of polite request with the auxiliary verb would. Would is also used to express desire and to show preference. Examples: would you like some coffee? I would prefer to take some tea. Or I would like to watch a movie. I would take an ice cream instead of cold drink. They would like to play now. So in these examples, a desire or liking or preference, which means choice, is expressed. Will or would as auxiliary verbs, they are used in hypothetical conditional sentences. Hypothetical means imaginary, kalpanik, and conditional sentences are sentences which begin with if or which have a conditional part beginning with if. Yadi aisa hota, yadi aap aisa karte. So these are examples of conditional sentences. So hypothetical conditional sentences, they have two parts. One is the conditional clause that begins with if, and the other part is the outcome part, which is the outcome of that condition. So the three types of conditional sentences are simple cause and effect sentences, hypothetical possible sentences, and hypothetical impossible sentences. The structure of simple cause and effect sentences is they use if and simple present tense in the conditional clause, and in the outcome clause, the effect clause has simple present tense or it has will with first form of the verb. Hypothetical possible sentences indicate possibility in the present, and hypothetical impossible sentences indicate possibility in the past. So in the group 2 sentences or in type 2 sentences, the conditional part with simple past and the result part or the effect part with would and first form of the verb indicates possibility in the present. Whereas in the group 3 sentences or the hypothetical impossible sentences, the conditional part has past perfect tense and the effect part or the outcome part has would, have and third form of the verb, which indicates possibility in the past. And because it indicates possibility in the past, it is not possible now. The condition is hypothetical, it's in past perfect tense. So the condition that you are imagining is also in past perfect tense, and the possibility that you are assuming, that is also in past tense. So it's a past possibility. So it's impossible. So the condition is hypothetical, it is imaginary. कि यदि ऐसा होता, लेकिन जो आउटकम है वो अब पॉसिबल नहीं है। ऐसा होता तो ऐसा हो चुका होता, बट नाउ बिकॉज द टाइम हैज पास्ड इट्स परफेक्ट टेंस, सो नाउ इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. Let's understand these three types of sentences with examples. In the first type, if you take a taxi, you will get the train. So it is simple present in the conditional part and simple future in the outcome part. So it is a simple cause and effect sentence that if you take a taxi, you will get the train. So you will get the train, but the condition is you take a taxi. Now, if we change this sentence into hypothetical possible, if we change the structure of the sentence and if we use simple past in the conditional part with if, and if in the outcome part, effect part, we use would and first form of the verb, see how the meaning changes. If you took a taxi, you would get the train. That means if you took a taxi, there is a possibility that you can get the train even now. Even now, if you take a taxi, there is a possibility that you can get the train. So the condition is hypothetical. It is imaginary, but the outcome is still possible. Now, let us see what happens in the third group sentence. If we change the structure of this sentence to third group, then it will be if you had taken, past perfect with if you had taken a taxi, you would have got the train. So if you had taken a taxi, this is past perfect tense, and you would have got the train. This is also perfect tense, have, got. So now the train has already gone. Now if you take a taxi, you can't get the train because the time has already passed. So now it's impossible. That is why we call these sentences hypothetical, impossible. Similarly, take another sentence. If he waters the plants regularly, they will survive. So it is simple cause and effect sentence. If he waters the plants, they'll survive. Now observe this sentence in hypothetical possible type. If he watered the plants regularly, they would survive. So the condition is if he watered the plants regularly, even if he waters the plants now onwards regularly, there is a possibility that the plants would survive. But in the third type, if we change the sentence to third type, it will mean if he had watered the plants regularly, they would have survived. But the plants have already wilted, they have already died, they have not survived. So if now you water them, it is going to have no effect. So it is impossible now that the plant can be made to survive or they can be revived. So in the third group, the condition is hypothetical, but the outcome is impossible. If they take him to hospital, they will save him. So if they take him to hospital, they will save him. Simple cause and effect sentence. If we change it into second type, it becomes if they took him to hospital, they would save him. So the condition is hypothetical. If they took him to hospital, they would save him. So they have not taken him to hospital till now, but even now if they take him to hospital, they would save him. So this is an imaginary condition and the outcome is still possible. Now if we change this sentence into the third type, it will be if they had taken him to hospital, they would have saved him. The patient is already dead or he could not be saved. If they had taken him to hospital, this is an imaginary condition of the past. That if they had taken him to hospital, they would have saved. यदि उसको वो हॉस्पिटल ले गए होते तो वो उसको बचा चुके होते. But now the situation is not in your control. Now you cannot do anything. So he cannot be saved. The patient cannot be saved. Now in these sentences, in the type 1 sentences, this will can be replaced by can or may or might. You can replace this will by can, may or might. And in this type 2 sentences, this would can be replaced by could or might. And in type 3 sentences, this would have can be replaced by could have or might have also. To express permission, you can replace will by can or may, or to express possibility, you can replace will by may and might. So you can say if you finish work, you can leave. So here can is expressing permission. Or if you finish work, you may leave. You can also say if you finish work, you may leave. In all these sentences, you can say if he waters the plants regularly, they may survive or they can survive. Similarly, in these sentences, you can say if they took him to hospital, they could save him or they might save him, to show the possibility. Another example, if you gave me tickets, I could watch the show. So this is type 2 sentence because here it is simple past and here you have could and first form of the verb. So would with first form of the verb or could with first form of the verb indicates hypothetical possible situation. So if you gave me the tickets, even now I could watch the show. So in these type 3 sentences, you can say if they had taken him to hospital, they might have saved him or they could have saved him, to show the possibility which is not possible now. So these type 3 sentences indicate that situation is not in your control now. So now you can do nothing about it. So it is impossible. Should as a modal auxiliary verb is used to indicate an advice or suggestion. Example, you should try to lose weight. He should rest at home today. You should watch the new version of the movie. It's great. There should be laws to protect our environment. Should is also used to ask or give opinion or to give the best option. Examples, what should we do now? So it is asking opinion or seeking opinion. Should we continue our talk? Again, this is seeking opinion. Should I wear this for the party? No, you should wear that one. It's asking opinion that which dress should I wear for the party? And here is a dialogue between A and B. So it's asking opinion. Asking opinion means Rai Lena. Should is also used to express obligation or sense of duty or desirability. Obligation means where something is expected as duty. Desirability, the behavior that is expected of you. Desirability means desired behavior, जो behavior आपसे अपेक्षित है. We should come in time. So this is duty also and this is desirable also. We should respect our elders. So this is a desirable behavior. They should drive slow near hospital. So this is duty also. It is obligatory to drive slow near hospitals and schools. We should wear seat belts in car. So this is a desired behavior. For our safety, we should wear seat belts in car. Should is also used for expressing probability. Probability means sambhavna. So probability which seems reasonable or ideal in present and future. ऐसी संभावना जो कि reasonable नजर आती है, reasonable लगती है present और future में. The class should be over now. So considering the time, it's 5 o'clock in the evening, so it is reasonable that the class should be over now. He should have boarded the train within an hour. So as per the schedule of the train, it seems reasonable, it is very much probable that he should have boarded the train within an hour. The mall should be closed by now. If I say it's 10 o'clock in the evening, so the mall should be closed by now. So it is a probability which is very reasonable because mall gets closed by 10 every day. He should have joined a new job. So if he has left one job, he should have joined a new job. This was expected. There is a reasonable probability that he should have joined a new job. Must indicates a strong sense of subjective obligation. Subjective obligation means it is speaker's personal opinion. Whoever is speaking, it's his personal opinion. If I say he must save money, so it's my opinion that he must save money. It's obligatory for him to save money. Must expresses strong sense of duty. We must follow traffic rules. We must obey our teacher. We must be kind to others. We must stand in a queue. I must switch off lights and fans before leaving my house. So all these sentences, they express a kind of duty or a kind of obligation. Obligation means kartavya, that we must follow or we must do. Must also expresses something is necessary or essential, and in this meaning must is similar to has to or have to. So if I say she must go to hospital, her father is admitted there. That means she has to go to the hospital because her father is admitted there. If the situation is of past and it is necessity in the past, then we'll say she had to go to the hospital, her father was admitted there. I must call him to know what happened after the accident. He must hurry or he'll miss the train. So he must hurry means there's a necessity. It is necessary that he must hurry or he'll miss the train. If the situation is of past, then we'll say he had to hurry or he would miss the train. He had to take a taxi as he was already late. The situation is of past, he was already late. So we have used had. When must is used to express necessity, then it is equal to has to or have to, and its past will be had to. Now must and need. So must is strong and it is used in the language of rules and regulations or warnings. Like you must drive slow near school. You must wear a helmet while riding a two-wheeler. The doctor has advised that he must stop smoking. The candidates must bring their photo ID proof with them. So when you are using must for rules, regulations or warnings, must is strong because the strength of must comes from the outcome or from the consequence, that if you don't do it, then you will have to face the consequences. यदि आप नहीं करेंगे तो उसके दुष्परिणाम आपको झेलने पड़े. So must is used in the language of rules and regulations or warnings. Need expresses just necessity. I need a raincoat. It might rain. Here need is not auxiliary verb. Here it is used as main verb. You wait here if you need a taxi. Here again need is used as main verb. Need you wait for him? Here need is auxiliary verb which is used in the beginning to make the sentence interrogative. You can also speak this sentence as do you need to wait for him? Need you wait for him? Or do you need to wait for him? Need you remind him? Or do you need to remind him? So need takes the infinitive form of the main verb. That means to plus main verb. So need always takes the infinitive form of the main verb with to. And all the modal auxiliary verbs, they take the base form of the verb or the first form of the verb without s and es, with or without to. So need, it takes the infinitive with to. Now let's compare must not and need not. So must not shows prohibition, means something is not allowed. Prohibition means when something is not allowed. Or negative obligation means not to do something, when it is compulsory not to do something. So must not is also used in rules or warnings. Like, you must not drive without helmet. This is a prohibition. You must not smoke at the petrol pump. This is also a prohibition, and it is also a warning. You must not talk during exam. Again, the strength of must is the consequences. But what will happen if you do not do it? You must not talk during exam, but if you talk, then your exam may be cancelled. You must not allow people without protective equipment. Must not allow means you are not allowed. You must not allow people without protective equipment. Need not. Need not shows absence of obligation or absence of necessity. So there is no need to do certain thing as a duty, or it is not needed, or there is absence of necessity. Like, you need not keep a torch. There is no power cut in this area. The sky is clear. You need not carry an umbrella. You need not finish the soup if you do not like it. So, you need not finish the soup means if you don't want, you need not finish it. Must, I told you, in case of necessity, it is same as has to or have to. But in negative, it is not same as don't have to. We can compare, you must not come here, and you don't have to come here. You don't have to come here means it's not needed, it's not required for you to come here. You must not pay, and you don't have to pay. You must not pay means you are prohibited to pay. You must not pay means it's a rule or it's a warning that you must not pay. But you don't have to pay means you don't need to pay. You must not water this plant daily means you are prohibited to water this plant daily. You are instructed not to water this plant daily. If you water this plant daily, maybe the plant will not survive. And you don't have to water this plant daily means you don't need to water this plant daily. Means this plant will survive even if you water it alternate day or twice a week. Must is also used to draw logical conclusion or inference. Logical conclusion means तर्क सम्मत conclusion. तो सिचुएशन से जब आप कंक्लूड करते हैं या इन्फरेंस ड्रॉ करते हैं, निष्कर्ष निकालते हैं. लॉजिकल कंक्लूजन ड्रॉ करना मतलब निष्कर्ष निकालना, परिस्थिति से निष्कर्ष निकालना. So must is also used to draw logical conclusion. So where there is a strong probability which is almost true or which you guess is true, then we use must. They resemble so much, they must be brothers. So they resemble so much. This is the situation. The conclusion that you draw is they must be brothers. The house is locked. They must have gone on a vacation. So the condition is the house is locked. And from this situation, you derive the conclusion that they must have gone on a vacation. The platform is crowded. The train must have arrived. So when you see a lot of crowd on the platform, you naturally, logical matlab, naturally, you conclude that the train must have arrived. He must be at work now. So looking at the time or considering the time, you are drawing a conclusion that he must be at work now. They must have reached yesterday. So because they started their journey yesterday, you are drawing a conclusion that they must have reached yesterday evening. It can't be true. He must be joking. Again, it can't be true. So your conclusion is he must be joking. There must be some mistake. There must be some mistake. It's a guess. You are guessing that there must be some mistake. This can't be true. Negative of must is can't in the sense of drawing conclusion. When must is used to draw a logical conclusion, the negative of must is can't, and of must have is couldn't have. This is an example from the story, the letter to God that you have studied. God could not have made a mistake. God could not have made a mistake. This is past tense, and you are drawing a conclusion from the situation that Lencho has got 70 pesos and he had requested 100. So God could not have made a mistake, nor could he have denied Lencho what he had requested. So couldn't have has been used as a negative of must have. Ought to. Ought to is used in formal situation and mostly in written forms. It is used to express moral duty. When we feel that it's our moral duty to do certain thing, then we use ought to. We ought to take care of old people in our family. So here ought to is used to express moral duty. It's our moral responsibility. Moral duty or moral responsibility, naitik daitva. So it's our moral duty or moral responsibility to take care of old people in our family. We ought to follow traffic rules. It's our duty to follow traffic rules. They ought not to travel without tickets. It is less natural. We can say this sentence with should. They should not travel without. It's more natural in speaking. So ought to is less used in negative while speaking. The students ought to be punctual and regular at school. The students ought to be punctual and regular at school. It's their moral duty. Strict advice or recommendation is also expressed through ought to. So people ought to drink 8 glasses of water every day. This is a recommendation. People ought to wear masks for protection against the virus. Again, this is a recommendation or it's a strict advice. Ought we to start writing? Now, ought in interrogative sentences is less natural. So we don't use ought to in speaking. It is better said with should. Should we start writing? And it will sound more natural. You ought to have told him about the risks. So we can say you should have told him about the risks. So we have learned that ought to is used to express moral duty and strict advice or recommendation, but ought to is less natural in negative, interrogative, and in the past tense. So here we can use, in these conditions, we can use should instead of ought to. Now let's compare should, ought to and must. Let's compare should, ought to and must because they all express obligation or necessity. So should expresses duty or responsibility or desirable behavior. It's informal. And the force of should is less because there is desirability. ऐसा करना चाहिए, ऐसा करें तो अच्छा होगा. Ought to, there is a moral obligation in ought to. It expresses duty and ought to is used in formal situation. So it's more commonly used in writing. Then force is internal from one's conscience. ये जो ought to की जो force है, इसकी जो strength है, वो हमारी अंतरात्मा या चेतना से है. हम अंदर से महसूस करते हैं कि this should be done या this is right. So force is internal from one's conscience. It's strong. But must is used for necessity with consequences. Must also means that something is very necessary. But if you don't do it, then you face the consequences. अगर नहीं करेंगे तो आप उसके परिणाम भी देखेंगे या उसके परिणाम का भी सामना करेंगे, दुष्परिणाम भी देखेंगे. मस्ट हम यूज़ करते हैं लीगल यानी कानूनी या डिसिप्लिनरी, जहाँ पर रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस की बात होती है या किसी न किसी अथॉरिटी के माध्यम से कोई चीज़ इम्पोज की जाती है या कंपलसरी की जाती है. तो इसमें क्योंकि फोर्स एक्सटर्नल है, बाहर से है, रूल्स रेगुलेशंस के कारण से है या अनुशासन के कारण से है या कानून के कारण से है, तो इसकी जो स्ट्रेंथ है वो ज़्यादा है. मस्ट इज़ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग बिकॉज इफ़ यू डोंट डू इट देन यू विल face the consequences. Okay, you will have to pay penalty or you will have to face the effects. So let's take examples with should, ought to and must. We should exercise daily. So this is desirable, अच्छी बात है. यदि आप एक्सरसाइज करेंगे तो अच्छा होगा, करना चाहिए, हमें एक्सरसाइज प्रतिदिन करना चाहिए. वी ऑट टू कीप फिट. अब यहाँ आप स्वयं ये महसूस कर रहे हैं कि वी ऑट टू कीप फिट. सो द स्ट्रेंथ इज फ्रॉम योर इनर सेल्फ. You feel that we ought to keep fit. But when you say being a heart patient, he must exercise to lose some weight. So he is a heart patient and he must exercise to lose some weight. The situation is such that if he doesn't exercise, then he will face problem. Now we should not park here. We ought to park at the right place. So this is your moral duty to park at the right place. We should not park here or we should park in the parking area. No parking zone में park नहीं करना चाहिए, है ना? We should not park here, but we must park our vehicle in the parking zone. So this is compulsory because as per rules, you should park your vehicle in the parking zone or parking area. Now may as an auxiliary verb. So may is used to express permission, formal permissions, and you already know, you are familiar with use of may for formal permissions. May I take your pen? May I leave now? You may start now. You may sit. So it is used to take permission and also to give permission. May is also used to express possibility in present and future. Like, it may rain today. I may get this job. The train may be late, or they may ask for help. So might is the next auxiliary verb, and might indicates probability. Probability or sambhavna. Might expresses possibility in the present and future, and might have expresses possibility in the past. The teacher might give full marks. So there is a possibility that the teacher give full marks. The train might be late. It is possibility of train being late. I have invited them, but they might not come due to a bad weather. He might return to India next month. All these sentences, they are expressing possibility in present or future. Then might have, it expresses possibility in the past. Examples, the teacher might have checked strictly. The train might have left. The invitation might not have reached them, or he might have returned home then. So let's compare the probability expressed by may, might, could, must, and can. May is used to express possibility in present or future, but it is formal and it is more common in writing. Like, side effects of this medicine may include headache and nausea. It means not in all cases this medicine will show side effects, but in some cases it may show side effects. Heart attack may lead to death. Means not all heart attacks lead to death, but in some cases heart attack may lead to death. Then might expresses remote possibility. That means it is less possibility in present or future. When you are not sure, we use might to express possibility. It is less formal and it's common in conversation. So we can say, I can't find my mobile. It might be in car. So there's a possibility of mobile being in car. She might be relaxing at home. So there's a possibility that she might be relaxing at home. So it expresses possibility, but here the possibility is less. Could expresses theoretical possibility or options. So if you say your keys could be in the car itself, so there's a possibility of keys being in the car. He could come to the party late. So there's a possibility that he could come to the party late. So there's an option that he can come late. Must expresses certainty of belief. So when you are sure or when you believe something to be true, then we can use must. He has worked all night. He must be tired. You believe that because he has worked all night, he must be tired. He suffered a major injury. He must be in the hospital. So There is certainty in this that he suffered a major injury, so it is very much likely that he must be in the hospital. Can also indicates possibility. Can expresses possibility which is very much real or which can actually happen. Like smoking can damage your lungs. So smoking can actually damage your lungs to some extent. Then we can stay with our friend in Mumbai for a day. So we can stay with our friend. We are going to Mumbai. So there is a possibility, and it is really possible that we can stay with our friend in Mumbai for a day. It can be expensive to keep a dog. So if you keep a dog, it can be expensive. So it is actually possible. So must expresses certainty, and can also expresses something which is actually possible. Could expresses theoretical possibility, and may is formal, and might is less formal, but it expresses a lesser degree of possibility. Remote possibility means a lesser degree of possibility. Now, dare indicates to have courage or boldness to do something. So, dare in affirmative and negative can be used as you dared to enter without permission. So, dare का मतलब हिम्मत. So, you dared to enter without permission. मतलब बिना परमिशन के आपने एंटर करने की हिम्मत की. Dare you call me directly? मतलब आपने मुझे डायरेक्टली कॉल करने की हिम्मत की. They dare not ask for a raise for the risk of losing their jobs. उनको सैलरी में रेज या बढ़ोतरी की मांग नहीं करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि उसमें जॉब लूज करने का डर है या रिस्क है. So they dare not ask for a raise for the risk of losing their jobs. Now, commonly, dare is used in the interrogative form as how dare. So, how dare with the subject forms the interrogative form, and it's very common in use. How dare you come here? तुमने हिम्मत कैसे की यहाँ आने की? How dare you speak to me like this? तुमने इस तरह से बोलने की मुझसे हिम्मत कैसे की? How dare you break the lock? How dare you raise your voice in the chamber of your boss? Now, negative is dare not and daren't. He was in such a bad temper that I daren't ask questions. You dare not touch the snake, it's poisonous. So, dare not and the short form daren't, they are rarely used. You dare not touch the snake, it's poisonous. That means don't show courage to touch the snake, it's poisonous. Now, the next auxiliary is used to. Used to is a very common auxiliary verb. It is used to refer the past, and it shows repeated action or habit in the past. Like, we used to climb this tree when we were young. It means it was our habit to climb this tree when we were young. So, he always used to sing in our parties. That means this was a regular phenomena. This was a regular practice that he used to sing whenever we had parties. We used to go to school together. हम साथ में स्कूल जाया करते थे. So used to का मतलब है आप किया करते थे. They used to play table tennis well. वे लोग अच्छा टेबल टेनिस खेला करते थे. Did he used to play with you? This is the interrogative form, and when we use did, we will not use used. So when we use did, the verb should be in first form. So when we use did, used to becomes used to, USC, used to. So did he used to play with you? And similarly, because it refers to the past activity, so when we change this into negative, it becomes didn't used to or never used to. So he didn't used to dress smartly, or I never used to sing in parties. So here didn't, used to. So when it is didn't, it is used to. And I never used to. You have said never. So you can use used to. So I never used to sing in parties. Now don't confuse used to with used to with ing form of the verb, because this has present or past or future reference, but used to is always used for a past activity. used to का मतलब है किया करते थे, और used to के साथ जब ing आप लगाएंगे, verb में ing लगाएंगे, तो इसका मतलब होगा कि अभ्यस्त होना, किसी काम का अभ्यस्त या आदि हो जाना. Okay, so I was used to working on computer for long durations. So यहाँ used to working आया है, ये used to different है. used to with present continuous form. I was used to working on computer for long duration. तो मैं कंप्यूटर पर लंबे ड्यूरेशंस के लिए काम करने का आदी था या अभ्यस्त था. Children get used to watching mobile screens. So children, they get used to, children आदी हो जाते हैं मोबाइल स्क्रीन्स देखने के. We will get used to operating this new washing machine in some time. हम इस नई वॉशिंग मशीन को यूज़ करने के अभ्यस्त हो जाएंगे कुछ ही समय में. So these two are totally different. ये used to auxiliary verb है, और I was used to working, they were used to working, ये जो ing फॉर्म के साथ जब आप लगाते हैं तो इसका मीनिंग होता है अभ्यस्त या आदि, किसी काम का आदि हो जाना या किसी काम की हमें प्रैक्टिस हो जाना, तो किसी काम के अभ्यस्त हो जाना. Now clear your doubts for better understanding. Could and was were able to. Could means something was possible and was were able to जब हम लगाते हैं, अगर कोई टास्क हो चुका है, कोई टास्क कंप्लीट हो चुका है, अगर उसके साथ हम was were able to लगाते हैं तो उसका मतलब होता है कि manage to or succeed in doing something. Like he could climb the wall. I told you that can means is, are, am able to, and could means was were able to. The meaning is different in a situation when we are talking about a task which is complete or the task which has been completed. He could climb the wall means he was able to climb the wall. But if we say he was able to climb the wall, it means he managed to climb the wall. He could climb the wall, this shows ability, but ability in the past. But when we say he was able to climb the wall means he managed to climb the wall or he succeeded in climbing the wall. He could get the train. That means here it is showing possibility, he could get the train. But when you say he was able to get the train, it means he succeeded in getting the train or he managed to get the train. Similarly, must, it means has to or have to, but in past it means had to, when the situation is expressing some necessity. So I must consult a specialist for pain in chest, means I have to consult a specialist for pain in chest. If the situation is in past tense, then we will say I had to consult a specialist for pain in chest. We must wear lab coats before entering the lab. So if the sentence means necessity, that we need to wear or we have to wear lab coats before entering the lab, when the situation is in past, we will say we had to wear lab coats before entering the lab. Now, for possibility, the negative of could is might not. It's not could not, it's might not. Like he could be in the library, but if this sentence has to be changed in negative for possibility, in the meaning of possibility, then we'll say he might not be in the library. In narration, when we have to change a statement from direct to indirect or reported speech, when the reporting verb is in past tense, will changes to would, can changes to could, may changes to might. So these auxiliary verbs will, would, can and could, may and might, they bear a present past relationship only when there is a situation of indirect narration or during reported speech when the reporting verb is in past tense. Let's understand it by some examples. Geeta said, I will not attend the meeting tomorrow. When this is changed to reported speech or indirect narration, it becomes Geeta said that she would not attend the meeting the next day. So will here changes to would because this reporting verb said is in simple past. Let's take another example with reporting verb in past. Ram said, I can play a guitar. So when we change this into indirect, Ram said that he could play a guitar. So here can has changed to could in the reported speech. May in the sense of possibility changes into might. Example, they said, we may buy a car. Changing this into indirect speech, they said that they might buy a car. So may in the sense of possibility changes into might. They said, we may buy a car. Again, the reporting verb is in past. So the reported speech would be, they said that they might buy a car. So here may has changed to might because the reporting verb was in past. But when may is used in the sense of permission, then it changes to could when the reporting verb is in past. Geeta asked him, may I come with you? So when we change this into reported speech or indirect narration, it becomes she asked if she could come with him. So here may has changed to could in the sense of permission. So when may is used in the sense of seeking permission or taking permission, then it changes into could. So these auxiliary verbs will, would, can and could, may and might, they bear a present past relationship only when there is a situation of indirect narration or during reported speech when the reporting verb is in past tense. Otherwise, these auxiliary verbs are independent. Now, these are the tips. Modal auxiliary verbs, they always take base form or infinitive form of the verb. So, base form of the verb or infinitive form of the verb with or without to. So, these are the tips for you students. We have seen that all the auxiliary verbs, they take base form or the infinitive form of the verb. That is the first form of the verb without s and es. Then modal auxiliary verbs for probability, permission, request may not always have the present past relationship. So all the auxiliaries are independent, except when you are changing the narration from direct to indirect and the reporting verb is in the past. Then auxiliary verbs form the major and essential part of spoken communication. We use auxiliary verbs in our day-to-day conversation for making question tags, for short answers, for showing agreement or disagreement, for requests, or showing preferences or accepting and refusing. So, please reinforce your learning of auxiliary verbs. Practice and speak and pick the auxiliary verbs from the conversation. Try to proceed in the conversation freely. Try to contribute in the conversation. Do not hesitate and try to converse freely using auxiliary verbs. Now these are the contracted forms with not. Now these are for fluency development because when we speak, we use contracted forms like isn't, aren't, wasn't, weren't, don't, doesn't, didn't, hasn't, haven't, hadn't, can't, couldn't, won't, wouldn't, shan't, shouldn't, mustn't, needn't, oughtn't, mayn't, mightn't, and daren't. So for developing fluency, these contractions are important, and while speaking, most of the time we are using these contractions. Like, we don't say I am 32 years old. We say I'm 32 years old. I'm not a painter. We don't say I am not a painter. I'm not a painter. He's a doctor, but she's not. She's working hard. It's very hot here in summer. You're not going to stay there. We are shifting next week. They are playing well. What's your name? We don't say what is your name. In speaking, it becomes what's your name? Where's my purse? How's life in the hostel? Who's there? It's the watchman. More contractions for you to practice. I've left that job. We've already shifted to Bhopal. You've written nice poems. They've received the items. He's got a pet dog. She's got long hair. It's a nice house and it's got a big garden. Then you have contractions of subject pronouns with auxiliary verb will. So you can practice this. I'll come to your birthday party. We don't say I will, we will, you will. In speaking, it becomes I'll, we'll, you'll. So practice this, and you can pause and repeat. I'll come to your party. We'll all go together. You'll get the parcel tomorrow. He'll never tell a lie. She'll always call me on my birthday. They'll return late in the evening. It'll not rain today. Now, these are the exercises in which you have to choose the auxiliaries: should, shouldn't, must, must not, ought to. This is the second exercise in which you have to choose the correct modal verb from the ones given in the brackets. The answers are here for you. You can check and assess your learning. For further practice, please do all the exercises that are given in your textbook on the topic auxiliary verbs. You can further practice exercises given in Essential English Grammar by Raymond Murphy and the exercises given in the book Living English Structure by W.S. Allen. So the next topic would be on subject-verb agreement.